There's a hard truth that most people will never want to hear. It's not comforting. It doesn't come wrapped in inspiration, but it's real. And the sooner you accept it, the sooner your life will begin to shift in a powerful way. Here it is. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about your excuses, your problems, your past, your potential. Not the way you hope they do. Not the way you tell yourself they might. And that's not meant to break you. It's meant to build you. Because the moment you realize that nobody is coming to save you is the moment you understand that you are the one who has to show up. Not once, but every single day. Not when it feels good, but especially when it doesn't. The world doesn't owe you support. The world doesn't pause for your frustration, your pain, your indecision. And yet so many people sit and wait. Wait for motivation. Wait for sympathy. Wait for someone to recognize them, validate them, push them. But that's not how greatness is built. Greatness is built in silence. In the early mornings, in the late nights, when no one is clapping. It's built when you decide that your goals are more important than your comfort. When you decide to keep going long after the motivation has left the room. Because here's the thing, motivation fades. Emotion is unreliable. But discipline, that's what separates the dreamers from the doers. That's what builds a foundation too strong to shake. When nobody is watching, when nobody applauds, when nobody checks in, you're either doing the work or you're making excuses. Some people will hear this and feel offended. They'll say it's too harsh, too cold, too blunt. But reality doesn't sugarcoat itself. And if you want to become something more than average, you can't afford to sugarcoat your habits, your standards, your discipline. Most people won't ever escape average because they're more committed to comfort than growth. They fold when things get difficult. They complain when life doesn't go their way. They wait for ideal conditions, perfect timing, the right mindset, or someone else to go first. And in all that waiting, they waste their own potential. But the people who rise above, the ones who refuse to be defined by excuses, they all have one thing in common. They work. They outwork the noise. They outwork the doubt. They outwork their old self. Not because they have to, but because they've made a decision to show up no matter what. And maybe you've been overlooked. Maybe your progress has been slow. Maybe you're tired of putting in the effort with no visible results. That's exactly the moment most people quit. That's when they pull back, slow down, tell themselves it's not worth it. But if you can push through that storm, if you can keep moving forward when you feel invisible, you'll step into a version of yourself that's unstoppable. You don't need external validation. You need internal commitment. You don't need perfect conditions. You need relentless standards. That means doing the work when it's boring, when it's hard, when it doesn't give you a dopamine hit. That means showing up for your future self with a discipline your current self resists. Your success doesn't care about your feelings. The life you want isn't waiting for you to be ready. It's waiting for you to take action. And action doesn't require permission. It requires clarity and consistency. You want people to care. Care enough about your own potential that you stop relying on them. Care enough that you keep building when no one notices. Because eventually, results speak for themselves. Success becomes undeniable. And by then, the world will start paying attention. But you won't need their attention anymore. Because you already proved it to yourself. This is not about hustling for the sake of burnout. It's about owning the reality that discipline will carry you where motivation cannot. That doing the work regardless of how you feel is a superpower. That every time you push past your own excuses, you take one step further away from the old you. There's a demon in your mind that will whisper every reason to stop. You're tired. You're not seeing progress. You deserve a break. One day off won't hurt. And in that moment, you have two choices. You can listen, or you can dominate that voice. You can either be a slave to comfort or a student of discipline. You say you want it. Prove it. You say you're committed. Then your actions should echo that louder than your words ever could. You don't need to feel like it. You just need to start. Because momentum doesn't come before movement, it comes after. Do the push-ups, write the page, send the email, learn the skill, track your habits, block the distractions, show up when it's hard, show up when it's lonely, show up when it's not fun. That's how winners are made. They're not made in moments of hype. They're made in quiet consistency, in choosing to move forward without applause, in choosing to stay focused without instant reward, in choosing to be your own accountability system. You are not entitled to success. You earn it every single day, through action, through failure, through resilience. And the more you show up, the more your mind starts to believe in a new version of you. A version that doesn't need motivation to act. A version that moves with purpose, not permission. Nobody cares about your goals the way you do, and that's your greatest advantage. Because once you stop expecting someone to hand it to you, you start creating it. From the ground up, from your own energy, your own discipline, your own vision. So the next time you want to quit, remember this. The world doesn't owe you understanding, but your future self is watching, and they are begging you not to fold, not to take the easy way out, not to sacrifice what you want most for what you feel now. You've got more in the tank. You've just been trained to stop at discomfort. But discomfort is not danger, it's a doorway. Most people stop at the door. You're not most people. You're here to push it open and walk through. 'Cause at the end of the day, it's not the talented that win. It's not the motivated. It's the disciplined. The consistent, the ones who say, nobody cares, and that's okay. I'll show up anyway. And when you do that enough times, you stop needing anyone to believe in you. Because you've built a life that speaks so loudly, it doesn't need words. So let them sleep. Let them scroll. Let them wait. You work quietly, powerfully, without needing applause. Because the ones who win the race aren't the loudest starters. They're the relentless finishers. And if you stay in the fight, you'll become someone even your past self wouldn't recognize. Nobody cares. Work harder anyway.